Ghana. Carlos Queiroz named as the manager after Otto Odo gets the sack, controversially, in my opinion. What's the overall feel of the Black Stars going into this World Cup for you?
Yeah, firstly, Mike, I confess I was also a little bit disappointed. I thought that Ghana would go with another Ghanaian coach, or at the very least, an African coach, just from a Pan-African perspective. But Ghana is a bit of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing going on, because they qualified with absolutely flying colors, both AFCON World Cup, superb attacking talent. I mean, we know the likes of, Kudus, who's obviously injured, but they also have Semenyo, Issa Haku, Williams. They have a lot of top quality players, Sulemana as well. But the issue is converting these individual qualities into consistent team performances, and they've really struggled with that, especially recently. So the results look concerning. I mean, of course, they've played some, I think, decent opposition. Your Mexico's, Germany, Austria. These are good teams, but they've fallen to defeat against them. And again, the defeat itself is not necessarily a problem. It's the defensive vulnerability to give up 10 goals in these matches, and the kind of offensive impotence that they've demonstrated, despite the attacking talent that they have. It is extremely troublesome. It's worrying for the World Cup. But again, hopefully the Ghana that shows up is the one that qualified, and not the one that's preparing at this current juncture in time.
And Bizo, one of the sad things that we have prior to a World Cup is injuries that happen. You mentioned Mohamed Kudus, who's not going to be at this World Cup. How big of a miss is he for Ghana, and who's going to be pulling the strings from the midfield perspective now that he's not there?
He's a huge miss. For me, I think he's one of the most talented players in the world. I know some might think that that's a big statement, but he's just another player that can do absolutely everything. Strong, quick, clever, goals, and even defensively, he has a wonderful work rate, can win the ball back on a very consistent basis. It's difficult to say, in the midfield, they're going to have to rely on the likes of Semenyo, I think, dropping deep to do a little bit more creating, perhaps, than necessitates at Manchester City. Kamaldeen, Sulemana, another direct, quick, clever, comfortable on both wings. He's another that can change the game with some exciting brilliance. It's tough. Those are the players that I think that they'll have to begin to rely on. And again, Issa Haku, Leicester might be struggling at this point in time, but a player like that injects so much pace and unpredictability that I think those are the players that are going to have to try to lead the squad. But they're not just missing in the attack. I think defensively as well, with players like Salisu and Jiku missing, it would explain a lot some of the defensive frailties. And so I think Ghana's really going to have to look to collaborate to overcome some of their missing personnel, and to really overcome this difficult phase that they're going through.
They've called in some big names on the African continent. When you look at the likes of Iñaki Williams with the front line, we're going to flip forward to the likes of Jordan Ayew. Say what you want about his Leicester performances, but he does deliver for the Black Stars, amongst others. What do you make of this front line for Ghana?
I've always been a big fan of Iñaki. Obviously, he's a consummate professional, a wonderful leader. But for me, he hasn't always been able to transform, or rather to import his form and his performances from Bilbao to Ghana and to the continent. So that's been a bit frustrating. But of course, he's a wonderful player to have as an option, to have on the bench as a leader. And again, he's used to being in these high pressure situations. I think he's a wonderful option to have. I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with you, Mikey boy. We often agree, but I'm going to have to disagree with you with Jordan Ayew. Obviously respect his long-serving international career. He has come up from time to time with some important goals, but he's never been one of my preferred players in that attacking line. And I think that he's often been carried by other players, including his brother Andre. And now with age, I think he's lost pace. He's lost influence. And for me, his recent performances suggest that he's not really among the more productive attacking options for Ghana. Frankly speaking, and I'm going to sound harsh here, I don't think he should have been called up at all. But he is there. He does add some experience. He does add some leadership. So hopefully he'll be able to contribute in that way. But I am skeptical about how he can contribute statistically and in football terms. But again, the talent in this attacking lineup is there for Ghana. The question is, can they be as good as they have been over the course of their qualifying section?
How far do you think each of these sides can go in this World Cup?
As far as Ghana is concerned, unfortunately, and it's with a heavy heart I say this, I find it difficult to believe that they'll even get through the group stages if they continue to play at this level, which is devastating because you would expect that a team like Ghana would be among Africa's best representatives, but they just simply aren't demonstrating that kind of football as of yet.
And Bizo, you choose your words wisely. He's a fan of Ghanaian Jollof, but he's not a fan of the Ghanaian national team. And Bizo, good to see you as always, brother.